Welcome to Psychology Simplified, and today we will talk about sleep psychology. Although we all sleep, yet have we given it a thought that sleep is a periodic, natural state in which we all lose consciousness either partially or for a while? When we sleep, we all go through 4 to 6 sleep cycles where each one lasts up to 90 to 110 minutes. So in a way, we ought to sleep for 7 to 8 hours. A sleep cycle consists of 4 stages. In the first stage of sleep, alpha waves are produced in the brain and we subtly awake while we are drifting off in a hypnotic state. In stage 2, we humans experience sleep swindles, which are rapid brain activity where theta waves replace the alpha waves. And we relax more deeply in this stage and can be woken up easily. In the third stage, slow rolling delta waves replace the rapid theta waves and people experience brief and fragmented short dreams. The last stage of sleep cycle is REM, which stands for rapid eye movement. While in REM, people experience vivid visual dreams and their body appears to be paralyzed except for their eyes, which move rapidly. Now that you know how we go from light sleep to deep sleep in 4 stages, let me tell you that we have been sleeping 20% less than our ancestors 100 years ago. Why? Electricity. How? Melatonin. Okay, I will explain it next. Melatonin is a natural hormone produced in the brain and released in the bloodstream to induce sleep. It is produced with darkness and regulates our sleeping-waking cycle. That is the reason we generally sleep after switching off all the lights. When our body is unable to produce melatonin, we still need to relax the brain, and hence doctors advise us to take certain pills. Now, if you want to avoid taking pills, do a self-check if some of the following habits are the culprit for not letting you have a sound sleep. Caffeine intake should be regulated and restricted in your cups of coffee, hot chocolate, ice creams, frozen yogurts, PMS medication, headache remedies, excess green tea and puddings with chocolate flavor. So let us say not more than 4 to 5 mugs of coffee per day. That should be the limit. Similarly, alcohol or sedatives decrease the quality of sleep by producing less melatonin and blocks the REM sleep. So once in a while, if you consume it with friends, it may be fine, but not as a regular habit, else life can be messed up. Too much of screen time while using laptops and mobiles or watching television also reduces melatonin due to the blue light emission. Thus, reduce your social media usage and watching that web series. Am I sounding like your mom now? Next, stress triggers like deadlines or relationships need to be managed well by yoga, meditation, writing a journal, or using aromatherapy to your benefit. I would highly recommend lavender as a fragrance. Cannabis and other substances may give us short-term relaxation, but eventually they increase anxiety and mood problems, which block the transition into the REM sleep. Come, let us take a short test now. I'm going to ask you a few questions and you keep counting the number of times you say yes. First, have you been feeling extreme fatigue or tiredness since the past few months? Have you had unexplained weight gain in recent past? Do you experience frequent mood changes like switching from happiness to sadness and vice versa? Do you find it difficult to control your emotions and cope with stress? Have you been diagnosed with increased sugar levels or heart disease symptoms? In case you have more affirmative answers, it means your body does not have the boost. Stress hormones are produced with more inadequate sleep, leading to hormonal imbalance. You are unable to appreciate the lighter side of things and unwind yourself. High levels of cortisol are produced, which results in fluctuating BP, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. All these indicate sleep deprivation. and you need to do something about it before it harms you further. Sleep deprivation can occur due to a number of reasons like sleep disorders, aging, or illness. Talking of sleep disorders, there are a few we will be focusing on. Insomnia, which is the inability to fall asleep or to remain asleep. It can be caused by jet lag, stress, anxiety, hormones, or digestive problems. Surprisingly, insomnia affects around 50% of the people in their lifetime. Sleep apnea is the second one, which happens when there are pauses in breathing during sleep. And this is a serious medical condition that causes the body to have less intake of oxygen. Obviously, I'm not going to bore you with obstructive, central, or mixed, which are types of apnea. Have you ever heard of parasomnias? These are abnormal movements and behaviors during sleep. They include sleepwalking, sleep talking, groaning, nightmares, bedwetting, teeth grinding. You know, sleepwalking reminds me of a very famous Bollywood movie from the 1960s called Neelkamal, which involves the lead sleepwalking every night due to a past trauma. And the last is narcolepsy, which is characterized by sleep attacks, where a person will suddenly feel extremely tired and fall asleep anywhere without warning. It may have happened to you when you are very tired and after an intensive workout, once in a while, but if it is recurring, then it can be a problem. Have you ever wondered what should be the room temperature for a good sleep? It should be around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius. It should be temperate, which helps in sleeping faster and puts you into a deep sleep. Some more practical tips could be wearing warm clothes at night when the room temperature is low, and cotton cool attire when your room is hotter. Also, you can try going to bed and waking up at the same time each day. Let's say 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. You know, being in India, I'm attending online classes of my uni in the UK, which wind up by 1 a.m. at night as per the Indian time. So it is quite challenging for me to wake up at 6 or so. Hence, now I wake up much after the sunrise, since I sleep late. Well justified, right? If we are physically active or exercise, it is easier to fall asleep. So with the COVID in the air, do your yoga indoors, or go up and down the stairs till you achieve a set target, or go cycling without stopping to talk or touch. Or maybe hit your treadmill or cross trainer if you have one. These are just some of the activities that I can recommend for better sleep. And if nothing else works, try playing the Yog Nidra audio, which is freely downloadable from YouTube. Sadhguru, a renowned mystic, says sleeping as less as 3 hours per night is sufficient if the quality of sleep is good. And it can be done if we consume the right kind of sattvic food and sleep consciously. And if you want more information on food psychology, watch my video on Autopia. The Eastern thinkers say that a yogi and a rogi both do not sleep much. Why? Because a yogi is one who's treading the spiritual path and feels sleeping much is a waste of time, while a rogi is a sick person and automatically finds it difficult to sleep due to discomfort or pain. In conclusion, I would say that whether you should sleep for 7 to 8 hours or 3 to 4 hours, it is still being debated. And it shows the gap between Western research and Eastern experience. Think and let me know in the comments below how many hours do you sleep on average. Because sleep ensures both your physical and psychological well-being. Good night, sleep well. Now, people, wouldn't it be unfair to record a video on sleep without talking about dreams? I feel dreams have such interesting interpretations psychologically that I need to talk about it at length, separately. So wait for my next video. Toodles!